What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm here with an update to Yellow Hybrid. So, of course, I am updating this deck again. Well, it's been a month now since the last update. So, yeah, it is something. Sorry, my damn phone and me are just not being friends right now. There we go. So yeah, I got some Yellow Hybrid for you guys, and I know a lot of you are very excited about this. So I just want to make this very clear. I didn't know there was a Digimon limited list or forbidden list and stuff like that. I had to look this up. And if you're going to be in the comment section, just like I tell the Yu-Gi-Oh players, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Just dislike and keep going. But if you have something that you want to be a little more helpful with, then do that. But the sarcastic troll shit is not welcome to you. Alright, with that said, let's actually get into the reason why we're here. So, I updated my Yellow Hybrid deck. I have a couple of things that I changed from the last variation of it. And I wanted to make sure that you guys see the progression. So, every month, I do an update to this, an update video for you guys. And it's been a minute since I've had it because there's a lot of other stuff going on. So, alright, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the deck because this is what we're here for. Starting off with our Digitama, I'm running 4 copies of Xiaomon and 1 copy of Demi Miramon. And of course, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are happy to see this variation of Demi Miramon, but yeah, it's here. Alright, that is the Digitama. Alright, now going into the main deck. 4 copies each of our hybrid Tin Warriors lineup. 4 copies of Kazemon, 4 copies of Zephyrmon, 4 copies of Jet Sophimon, 2 copies now of Ancient Kazemon, and then I'm rocking 2 copies of Susanomon. Alright, so there he is. He's here. I'll get more into him later. Alright. Now, that is the hybrids in the Tin Warriors. Pokemon is the next card up with 4 copies. Then, moving on, our dual color is 2 copies of Ophanimon Fall Down Mode. Then, for our purples, because I am running some purple Digimon, 2 copies of Junomon, 2 copies of Gizamon, and 2 copies of Electmon. So that rounds out my purples, and that rounds out my Digimon. For my tamers, 4 copies of Zoe, 4 copies of Hikari, and 4 copies of Takeru and Hikari. Alright. Which I know, they're TK and Kari. Okay. Alright, then. For the option cards, 4 copies of Wyvern's Breath, 3 copies of Yellow Memory Boost, with the 1 copy of Reinforced Memory Boost, and then the 4 copies of Schwartz Lariat. Alright, that is it for the option cards, and that's the decks overall. So why don't I go ahead, I'll go back into the choices and lineups. So, starting off is the Digimon, Xiaomon and Demi Miramon. If you cannot afford Demi Miramon, there is an option that is the other Demi Miramon, which is the when cards are trashed from your deck, you can draw 1 card from your deck. It's in the current booster set, New Awakenings, and I've shown you guys this card before, but yeah, just hold on, just in case you guys don't exactly know which one I'm talking about. Don't worry, I have my binder next to me. This is the Demi Miramon I'm talking about. It's the cheaper option if you're not looking to spend the $2 or $3 on the Demi Miramon, and the set costs me some money. So yeah, if you want a different option, this is your different option. These Xiaomon are pretty much really easy to get. They're not that expensive if you're looking for budget-friendly options, because I always want to give budget-friendly options. Digimon has a lot of those. The Xiaomon's effect is that while it's Digivolution material, that on your turn, when you have 10 or more Digimon cards in your trash, the Digimon that has this as its trait in its evolution line, will get retaliation. Meaning that when a Digimon deletes it, you delete that Digimon it battles. And that can be good in some cases because there's a lot of things that you want to run into to get them out the way so that if you're at low security or there's just things that need to be off the board, Xiaomon into either Electmon for the combo or you want to rush with the Gizamon, you're doing fine there. And then the Demineramon is basically here for a draw one, discard one, but you can also play the other Demineramon. Especially considering who I'm playing in the deck in terms of Junomon. Alright, now, with those out of the way, let's go into the main deck itself. So, it is Yellow Hybrid, and you're running Kazemon, who can be placed on any Yellow Tamer, and it's just an easy swing. You can easily swing with her for victory as well. The Zephyrmon comes into play when it comes to security control. And just buffing up security Digimon, for a turn. So when she's Digivolved for your opponents until the end of your opponent's turn, all your security Digimon will gain plus 3k, and that's really great so that you can, if there's things that it's a little surprise factor for your opponent. Like, oh look, it's a Zephyrmon. Oh, you played a Zephyrmon. Oh, there's a Zoe under her. That's at least 4k on top of the 6k she is. That's 1,000, right? That's 10k right there. And that can take out a good portion of Digimon, especially for like Weenie Rushes and stuff like that. And the other is, of course, the Jet Sylphimon, who is the bigger playmaker of the deck, where when she Digivolves, while you have a Digimon in its Digivolution cards with Hybrid in its trait, security +1. And that leads into a lot of the gimmick of this deck, where it's a lot of security things that happens. This is basically your engine for Yellow Hybrid. Now, the extension to your Yellow Hybrid are probably the cheap version, which is Ancient Kazemon, who, while she's during your opponent's turn, while you have a hybrid card in his Digivolution cards, all your security will gain 4k. Then, on deletion, she can take any level 4 or lower card with hybrid in its trait from your hand and play it without paying the memory cost. So if you have some extras, they come to the field real easy. They do still suffer the summoning sickness, I believe, because of that. But for the most part, it's just to help cycle in a lot of what Yellow Hybrid does, which is set up your security, and then there's a lot of bait and trap with the security. And then when your opponent runs into things that are definitely going to be way more DP than they are, which is the gimmick of it, it's like, damn, you just wasted all this just to get rid of it. And it makes out in the long run too, especially if you can get into Ancient Kazemon off of the Zephyrmon with ease. But yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things that if you have the setup for it, it works. Now, we're going to talk to the big boy, Susanomon. Now, I know this card is very expensive. Last I checked, this was still at as low as 25. You don't have to play Susanomon. You can play more you can play more Ancient Kazemon if that's what your budget allows you to get. There are a lot of budget options for Digimon decks. I will just say that now. There are a lot of decks and builds for the budget, more casual play, if you don't want to spend so much money. And I actually did not realize how easy it was for a lot of this, because a lot of these are not full arts. Even in Susanomon, although it's not a full art, the regular art of cards are less expensive than their full versions, and it's a lot more easier to pick up, and it's a lot more accessible for those on that budget. Now with Susanomon, he is your big boy. He is, if I believe correctly, this is the optimal position. This is the more competitive. This is the competitive win condition. But if you can't afford the condition of this, your other condition could be the Ancient Kazemon. This will play around with security and security control. So what he does is that if you have a Tamer on the field, you use that Tamer as a level 6 Digimon, and then place 10 Tamer cards and or cards with hybrid in their trait from your hand or trash back to the bottom of the deck. He has a security check of 2. When he swings for security, he can hit for 2 instead of 1. And then he has on Digivolution, he can delete one of your opponent's Digimon. There is a card that helps speed up this process. I don't have it. And it's also at 1, which is something I learned recently while looking through the limitations of cards and forbidden cards for the Digimon card game. So it's a real good card. I think it's fusions. It's it's a fusion card, and it does really good things. And I know some yellow hybrid decks run it. I just did not see it as an option or something I want to run. Like I said, I just built what was more comfortable for me, and it just works out well. So, all right. With that said, let's move on from the hybrids and the bigger cards. So let's move on to the next section, which is Pokemon. If I can find him, there he goes. This is Pokemon. So I run 4 of these. Pokemon allows me to go into my deck by excavating. That's the Yu-Gi-Oh term. Looking at the top 5 cards of the deck, then adding 110 Warriors or hybrid card traded Digimon and 1 Tamer. From that 5 to my hand, and then place the rest on the bottom, so I can get through a lot of cards faster, get to a lot of other things faster, and then start setting up for my hybrid plays. When a Tamer digivolves into a Digimon, memory +2, so it's a bit of memory setup, memory recovery. It's a lot of good things with this Pokemon, and with multiple Pokemon that helps out as well. So, all right, move on from the Pokemon, and then we have the only other multicolored card in the deck, and that is Ophanimon Fall Down Mode. On Digivolution, if this Digimon has a yellow Digimon in its Digivolution trait, then it is security +1. If it has a purple, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Then on deletion, she can get any level 4 or lower yellow or purple Digimon from your trash and put it onto the field without paying a memory cost. So it's a free summon on her deletion, and a recovery on her Digivolution. So it's a really good card that I did not want to miss the chance on. But this is not a big build of hybrid yellow using a lot of purple support. It just has a lot of purple cards to fit into purple setups. And it was just something that I wanted to play because, of course, the Digivolution from a Jet Sophimon into Ophanimon Fall Down Mode means that there's a yellow Digimon in this trait, security +1. So, alright, moving on from the Ophanimon, and Ophanimon got really cheap. Like, these are like $1 now. So, full art, I think, are still way more. So, Junomon is making her appearance in this deck. This is for recovery. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the trash, and then among the cards in your trash, add 1 Digimon to your hand. Then you have the Gizamon. This is to prevent your opponent from gaining memory outside of the effects of Tamers. And then the Electmon, who is here to delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. And these 2 are what you use with the Xiaomon to get the retaliation. Well, the Junomon actually really does help them out as well, because it fills up the trash, in addition to to trigger off with the Xiaomon effect to start banking these guys retaliators and then taking out stuff if needed. So this is just your options there, and these are really cheap too. Then the only other Digimon I can suggest is Cyclone, who forces both Tamers. What was it? No memory reduction. There we go. No cost reduction. That's what that card does. I don't have a picture of him either, unfortunately, but I'm sure if you look up Psychmon, it will show you. Then for the Tamers, I'm running the 4 copies of Zoe. Zoe has the ability that when on play, she can look at your security, add 1 Digimon from it, add 1 hybrid Digimon from it, or 10 warriors to your hand, and then security +1 from your deck. Otherwise, it's just a regular check, shuffle your deck. This is probably the big core engine to your yellow hybrid, because Zoe, you can evolve them into Zoe, and then Zoe, they get beneficial effects off of Zoe, because she's a tamer, and then the fact that this is a tamer that works well with hybrid, just like all the other characters from her series are in the game, and they all have effects with the different hybrid cards. Next up to her is Hikari. This is the one from the New Awakenings. With your memory is 3 or less, make your memory jump to 3, and then when a card during your turn, if a card is added to your security stack, you can suspend this tamer to add 1 memory. And because, of course, there's a lot of control with with security here, your memory jump is going to be great. And then you have TK and Hikari, or Takeru and Hikari. And their ability is that if you have less security in your opponent, you gain 2 memory. And then when one of your yellow Digimon attacks, you suspend this Digimon to give minus 1,000 to your opponent's Digimon for the turn. Now, I don't really use that ability as much. I really don't. I use the other one, which is the more optimal setup of why I use the card in here, because I run 2 of them. There is a card missing. I know some people are going to ask, where's the TK? There is a TK that is a level 3. The artwork is based off of the reboot, and he has the ability that on play he can look at your security to add 1 card from your security to your hand, and then replace that security. That card is like $10, and the Zoes are, well, very situational because of what she can get. It was more so the optimal loop. But if you want to get the TKs, go right ahead. It's up to you. I don't believe there's no real budget options, unfortunately, for the TK. Because I know he gives a memory. He does a memory jump as well if your security is 2 or less. But that's why I kind of have the Kari here, because that Kari fits in with yellow so well. I don't believe there's too many other yellow cards. I know recently we got the Rika that does the memory jump, but she fits in with how her deck works. And yeah, that's part of the reason why I went for this option, because this Kari is really good just for the fact that it's a lot of security control, a lot of security play, and it's a lot of stuff that's going to revolve on your security jump as well. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for my tamers. So yeah, the only oh, and there's a Kari as well. Hold on, I have that. There's a younger Kari. Is this one that if your security is 3 or fewer, you can gain 1 memory. And she's also another yellow tamer, so you can hop her in if you have her. She's really cheap too. She was like less than $1. All right. Now, with that said, we move on to our option cards. All the option cards that I'm about to show you are dirt cheap. You can pick up these in multiples, and they're really easy. The only one is that, of course, the reinforced memory boost that is at limited to 1 in decks. So we have the yellow memory boost, the reinforced memory boost, and the Wyvern's Breath and the Schwartz Lariat for my option cards. The Schwartz Lariat's effect is that for every card with hybrid in its trait and every tamer on your field, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon that's level 5 or lower. This is a good wipeout for things, especially when you want to clear boards of cards that are level 5 or lower. So basically that's ultimate and below. Then you have your reinforced memory, your yellow memory, where reinforced checks the top 2 cards of your deck. You add 1 to your hand, put the other one on your memory, and then you can pop it to give yourself 3 memory. And I see why this card is at 1. This is a really broken effect. And although I was coming into this with multiples of this, I did not know. So I'm glad, in some hindsight, that I was able to fix that. The yellow memory boost is here for yellow cards. This deck is nothing but yellow. Check the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 yellow Digimon to it, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, so you can move option cards out the way. You can move a lot of stuff into position that you'll need for later if you can get to it. And then the on delay effect, where you send it to the trash, and you gain 2 memory. So definitely memory support cards here. And then the Wyvern's Breath is to kill off things. Delete one of your opponent's, make one of your opponent's Digimon lose 15 DP for the turn. And that's basically deletion if they drop to 0. So yeah, running 40s to really help out with it. There are some other options. You can run what is that one card? You can run not this, but Seven's Heaven, Holy Flame, Eden's Javelin are some options that I've seen people run in this deck as well. So these cards here, the Eden's Javelin to help with the security, attack -3. You have the Seven's Heaven, which is only 5,000 less than the Wyvern's Breath. And then the Eden's Javelin is that you draw 1 card from your deck, and then one of your opponent's Digimon gains -1 DP for every card in your hand. So these are some options of things that if you want to run them. They're real, like I said, These are dirt cheap. Oh, actually, I don't know if this is, because these are in the yellow gate structure, that the yellow heaven structure deck. And I know a lot of stuff from there is expensive. So if you can opt to get these are your other options. These are very cheap to get, and these are optimally what I'm playing. But if you want to play these, you're more than welcome to, and you have your other options as well. Now, I had to remember that because I was looking up some of the cards that I had, and some of the yellow stuff is going up tremendously. Or some of them are still dirt cheap, so try to get them if you can. But all right, yeah, that is it for my yellow hybrid um, deck profile for this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, or stuff like that, you can leave them in the comment section below. Let me get this set up for you guys. You can also hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe. But you can like, comment, share, and subscribe. Sorry, because I'm getting my words mixed up. You can hit the notification bell so you can be informed of when I do upload more content like Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And otherwise. In the description box below is all of my social media links if you guys want to hit me up on social media. I am on Twitch, twitch.tv/HarpiePlayerJoe, where I will be continuing my adventures through the Hoenn region with my Pokemon Emerald live streams. So check those out. And with all said and done, thanks everybody for watching. HPJ signing out. Take care.